Good morning from the Amazon rainforest. So, there's two types of vegans in this world. There's hardcore rage-core vegans, and then there's vegans who don't care so much. And of course, the rage-core vegans think that the vegans who don't care so much aren't vegan. By definition. Donald Watson, by the book, those are not vegan. You ate honey last year, that's not even vegan at all. By the definition, right? These are the people who have a horrifically detrimental environmental footprint that kills tons and tons of animals. The city vegans, every time they get in their car to drive to a protest or a rally, they don't think about all the animals that are killed in the Amazon rainforest or the Canadian oil sands, tar sands, the entire flocks of birds that land in these poisonous chemicals and all die, the birds that fly into the windmills and the wind farms die to produce their electricity, the fish that swim into the nuclear power plant coolant system and die. Every animal that's ever been killed in habitat destruction to build a factory, they either don't think about that, or they think, well, I'm living my life in a way that I'm harming as few animals as I can, as much as possible and practicable, like Donald Watson says in his definition of veganism, right? But if you eat honey, all of a sudden, that's not vegan anymore. Okay, all right, let's go with that. So, and then the vegans who don't care so much are the ones who kind of understand that the possible and practicable part of Donald Watson's definition of veganism is up to the individual. And aside from the individual, it's up to the rights and leisures afforded to you by the people around you. And of course, tolerated by the people that you're exposed to on the internet and other methods of communication. So fortunately, there seem to be a lot more mentally healthy vegans than there are rage-core vegans. But there are so many examples I could give of this kind of dichotomy. For example, I like to tease pure 100% fruitarians by telling them that they're not vegan or fruitarian. Oh, because I only eat the fruit the tree freely gives me. I don't eat the greens, the vegetables. You have to harm the plant to pick those. You're actually eating the plant. The fruit is freely given from the tree. It's the tree's sexual organ. It falls from the tree, you eat it. It's totally ethical, no animals, no harming vegetable plants, or no killing at all. So tell them, okay, there's little teeny tiny bugs in the fruit that you can't see, and the eggs of those bugs as well that you also can't see, and you're eating those constantly. And they're like, well, that's incidental consumption, or that doesn't matter, or that's still vegan because it's unintentional, and I don't know about it. I'm like, no, you know about it, because I just told you. Even if you were stupid enough to not realize that before, which I highly doubt, now you know about it because I just told you. So now that you know about it, every single time you bite into a piece of fruit, you are knowingly, intentionally killing animals. So that's not fruitarian, it's not vegan, you're not, whatever. But the point is, obviously, the reason that they find it acceptable to do is it's not because it's unintentional or unknowing, because of course they know it and they're doing it intentionally. Is because they're killing as few animals as they can, as much as is possible and practicable. So they've decided it's not possible and practicable to not eat anything. So they eat that even though it does contain some animals in it, even though they're tiny, right? But according to the rage-core vegans, even insect lives matter, so we have to think about that as well. Or sometimes the 100% pure fruitarians will say, it's unintentional because I would die if I didn't eat at all. I can't just not eat at all. That's ridiculous. So because I have to eat something, and yeah, it contains some insects and eggs and whatever, that makes it unintentional. No, that doesn't make it unintentional. That makes it possible and practicable, right? It makes it within the realm of possibility. It makes it outside of the realm of impossibility and impracticability. So again, they are subjectively interpreting this obviously subjective part of Donald Watson's definition of veganism to allow them to kill some animals in order to live, right? They just don't want to say it that way. They want to play word salad and word soup and mental gymnastics to make it seem like they're not killing any animals intentionally. Yes, you are intentionally killing animals and knowingly killing animals. But wait a second, the rage-core vegans might say, it's not cool to allow the possible and practical part of Donald Watson's definition of veganism to be so subjective, because literally anybody could just say, any meat eater or whatever could just say that they need meat to live, so therefore it's possible and practicable and da-da-da-da-da. Of course, they can, and you don't have to believe them, you don't have to accept that, but they could still say that. They certainly could. Anybody could say anything. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, offends your idea of how you thought reality was, right? Literally anybody could call themselves vegan and say, well, even, okay, take this example, a cockfighter, somebody who does cockfighting. They train chickens to fight, and they put them in the ring, and they get all scarred up and bloody and sometimes die. Or people who do dog fighting, right? Like Michael Vick in the past, for example. They could call themselves vegan. They could say, well, I don't feel that not doing dogfighting or cockfighting is possible or practicable for me, because for me it's a source of revenue and income and entertainment, and I just can't see my life happening without it. It's a very important part of my life. So I'm killing as few animals, harming as few animals as I can, as far as is possible and practicable, right? Yes, a cockfighter or a dogfighter could say that. You don't have to believe them, right? And even the second class of vegans, the mentally healthy ones, who I call the vegans who don't care so much, even they would think that's a load of crap, right? They would not believe that either. They would not accept that as what they would consider to be vegan. They would say, no, it's totally possible and practicable for you to stop doing dogfighting and cockfighting, right? So that's totally on the extreme end. So what we're getting down to is something called general semantics, which is the field behind nonviolent communication, mostly developed by Alfred Korzybski and a few other people. And what basically we're saying is that every word is subjective. Yes, there are things that you could call objective definitions, but even the objective definition of veganism, if you even accept that, if that's your personal definition of veganism, the Donald Watson one, that's great. But even that supposedly objective definition has a huge amount of subjectivity in the part that says possible and practicable. Because who gets to decide what's possible and practicable? Every single Rage-Core vegan in the world wants to think that it's they personally who get to decide. Or they might say, well, it's consensus. Well, is it consensus among Rage-Core vegans, consensus among mentally healthy vegans, consensus among paleo dieters? Who gets to make it up? So it's everyone individually will have to decide for themselves, and then whether others around them accept that is up to the others around them, and whether others they're exposed to via communication methods like the internet accept that, or troll their YouTube videos constantly, is up to those people. And that's just the way our existence is. We can't just go around claiming everything's objective and then raging when it's not. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to rage in my comment section. Have a great day.